GM Pierre Dorion said multiple times this week that Guy Boucher was his head coach, that he would support him, and that he would reevaluate the coaching staff after the season.
We're not even going to get through this, are we?
But today, he was singing a very different tune. Dorion fired Boucher this morning, giving the interim head coaching title to assistant Mark Crawford. Dorion met with the media in Ottawa today, and the natural first question was, why didn't you wait until the end of the season like you said you would?
We just felt as recently as probably this morning that Guy wasn't going to be our coach moving forward. And for both parties, we just felt that it was probably time to move on. Obviously, we made the decision, and that's why we named Mark as interim coach till the end of the year. I think in this rebuild, playing the kids is crucial. The development of our young players is essential for this team to have success moving forward. We want to see this team win games, develop, grow, have a great culture, play for one and each other, play for the coaching staff, more importantly, play for our fans. And, you know, we saw that against Calgary a few days ago. I don't think we saw that last night. And at a certain point in time, we felt that we had to make the decision today. Pretty much made up my mind last night. I wanted to sleep on it. I advised Eugene this morning. I phoned Mark afterwards. And when Guy came in, I let him know that he was not going to be our coach anymore.
Does that make sense to you?
No. And there's a lot of layers to the onion that we need to peel back in order to get to any sort of sense. And I don't think that we ever will get to any sort of sense when it comes to the Ottawa Senators, at least on this day. But there are a couple of things that I need to point out before we move forward. One, did you watch the news conference in Ottawa?
Yes.
Did you not notice Pierre Dorion couldn't wait to get out of there? In fact, he tried several times to get out of there.
See, I missed this. I thought he was there. He was willing to stay there for a large amount of time. I missed this.
Nope, he did not.
All right, let's take a look.
He wanted to get out as soon as he could.
Okay, thank you. Merci beaucoup. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Nope, not yet. Nope. Nope.
Okay, thank you.
Wait. Oh.
Nah.
And third.
Now we're good.
Third time's a charm.
So for those wondering if this is indeed a departure even for this team, yes, this was a departure even for this team. In fact, this week, that general manager said on Monday of this week, Monday, a couple days ago, today's Friday, Monday started the week.
Correct.
Kids went to school on Monday.
This week, Monday
Before
did
they
start.
got to March break, they
Monday
had to go
started
for
the week.
one more week, maybe 2 more weeks, depending on where you're from. They went to school on Monday. This is what Pierre Dorion said on Monday.
Of this week.
Before I move forward, I just was asked about Guy Boucher, and I think it's probably best for me to repeat the answer in English. Guy's our coach. I don't think anyone will disagree with me on this one that I've made his job pretty difficult in the last few weeks, and we're going to support him.
Okay, so there is the support that he just showed his head coach. By the way, did it not look like the same day, even though I told you repeatedly it was Monday?
I think every day Pierre wakes up, it's just kind of the same thing.
Dorion did a one-on-one interview with longtime Senators beat writer Bruce Garriock, who in the market has among the most respect
there a long
of
time,
any
Bruce.
writer.
Yep.
He did this yesterday. Sid, when?
Yesterday.
Yesterday before the game, he talked to Guy Boucher.
2 days after Monday.
He talked about Guy Boucher.
Yep.
2 days after Monday, he talked about Guy Boucher. In fact, he tweeted about this morning, Bruce Garriock, before the news broke. Here's what the GM said about his head coach in a one-on-one yesterday. Guy's job hasn't been easy the last few weeks with everything going on, and I think he's handled it well. We are going to evaluate them, the coaching staff, at the end of the year. So that changed, obviously. The Oilers came into town. The Oilers got a win. Connor McDavid scored. I know you have been passionate about this topic for a while. Would you like me to leave?
Why would you leave? No.
Because I'm afraid.
I want him to leave. I want VP of Technical Ops Dagan Pasquale to get out of
would
here.
you do me the honor of telling
love
me,
for you to
know
stay.
what, go, because it might get ugly here.
Let me ask you a question.
I like questions. I like conversation as you drink the water that was dropped on the ground earlier.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah, ask me. Go ahead.
What would I have to say on, we're live coast to coast right now. I know there are people in that Sens organization, they'll never admit it, they're watching this right now. Mm-hmm. What would I have to say to get fired?
To get fired here?
Yeah. Fired from Rogers Communications about this. What would I have, like how far can I take this?
Let's not.
Because I'm rather upset about what I've seen here over the last, not just day, not just week, not just month, but like every Sens fan, I'm actually very upset.
It's been a gong show for basically when they lost Game 7, right?
Right. To the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah.
They were in an overtime of Game 7. Yeah. I know people get upset when you bring that up, but that's a thing that happened in life. You should bring that up. Not that long ago.
Well, let's try and work our way through this together so that you don't get fired, because I don't want to see that happen to you.
No, but I'm just.
Are you upset?
No, but it's just time to have the honest conversation about everything.
Do you think there's a lot of BS floating around?
First off, if anyone's lent money to anyone working inside the Sens organization and they've said to you, "I'll get back to you soon," you're not seeing it. Because words in an organization no longer have meaning. This organization has no credibility. This organization, whenever it opens, Mark Borvievsky is the only guy in that organization that has any level of credibility.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
Who's been there a while. Leave the kids out of it. Shabbat, Batherson, all those. Kachuk, I'm not talking about them. They've just got there. They've been there a hot minute. This is not about them. This organization has lost all credibility in anything they do and anything they say and how they treat their employees and how they treat their star players and how they treat businessmen in the Ottawa area who have way more money than them. Way more money than them.
Okay, before you get too fired up, I want to bring something to your...
I haven't even started yet.
No, but I want to bring something to your thought process here. Is there any way that Guy Boucher turned to Pierre Dorion and said, I don't want to be a part of this anymore?
No, because he could have said that to start the year.
Well, no, but he had...
You lost Carlson at the first day of training camp.
But he still had Duchesne, Dzingel,
a team that cratered.
And Mark Stone.
A team that cratered at the end of last year.
No, but like,
cratered.
Is there any way this team completely changed the way Guy Boucher has played hockey in the past? His teams have played a certain way with an emphasis on defense, right?
Yes.
The numbers suggest that they completely abandoned that. I would suggest to you that they completely abandoned that in order to get their star players some points to offer a little bit more leverage to their team. A couple of years ago, the shots on goal against were 14th, okay? They didn't allow many. This year, they're 31st. I know the team isn't that good, and they've traded away guys. But they went from 10th to 31st in goals against because they were trying to improve the other numbers, like the goals for, which is now down to 13.
Tim, they've been one of the worst teams in the league for months. What changed? Just explain to me. What changed?
They traded three of their best players away.
They were asked with those players. What changed? Why do you fire Guy Boucher? Now we're just humiliating guys.
No, but like...
Now that's all this is about because Eugene Melnyk wants to keep his name out of the news for other completely relevant reasons. Let's throw somebody else under a bus and maybe the media, who he thinks is stupid, can look the other way and ignore the other stuff that's going on. This does nothing for your organization. The kids, you talked about developing the kids at the deadline. You talked about trading free agents and how it might hurt them to trade dudes away with experience. Let me tell you something. This garbage hurts them. They don't know which way to look.
Well, this is the part of the garbage that I was talking about.
This is a joke. How do you develop these kids with this circus around them?
But you know for sure that Guy Boucher wanted to remain there?
Guy Boucher went through the entire... I didn't hear Guy Boucher rip this team once. Did you? Guy Boucher held it together because this was the deal. I saw what they threw up there, and I'm not going to disagree with it. But Guy Boucher kept it together while this team was ass, while they traded away assets.
I don't disagree with that.
So why embarrass him now? This is embarrassing. This is personal. This doesn't do anything for you.
Unless the coach said, I don't want to be here anymore.
Then he should have said something, or Dorion should have said that today. But nobody's saying that. You're assuming that.
But that's what a class Guy and Guy Boucher would do if he didn't want to be a part of it anymore.
I'm not saying he's not a class guy.
If you asked him to change the way he coaches the game, right?
Right.
In order to pump up some offensive numbers because you know the team is going to be crap and no one is coming to watch your boring style. Remember that?
Right.
Do you remember nobody was going to watch because of their boring style? They opened it up and they became ass, right?
Tim, did you see him last night during those reviews, those goal reviews? Did you see him on the bench? Did he look like a guy who had checked out to you? Because he didn't look like a guy that had checked out to me. That looked like a guy who wanted to win a game.
I'm just trying to find some sort of sense
and I
in all
applaud
of
you
this.
for it. There is none. This is the one time he is very good at giving a detailed other side to whatever it is I am trying to explain here. Tim, you can't do it today. There is no explanation for this that makes sense. This organization has its head so far up its ass, I can't finish the statement. You cannot defend this today. They are liars. They are cheap. They don't respect people. They treat their employees like garbage. They are dead last in the NHL. They can't get along with anyone financially in that market. And it is a cesspool of negativity, and you have pushed everyone in that organization who's worth a damn out of it. Pierre Dorion's not going to be a GM in this league again. He better hope that relationship is clear, because this is it for him. This team is in the worst spot. I've watched the Oilers for years. The Oilers are light years ahead of this organization. They have an arena downtown. They're spending at least $8 million on 2 players. I'm reading on social media how the Oilers are just as bad or worse as the Senators. You don't know what you're talking about. This is a joke. And I feel like I've gone down this road enough times on this station. This team is now lying to good people to change the narrative, and they're not smart enough to do it properly. They haven't been smart enough to do it properly for months.
What narrative are they changing?
I don't know. It's a great question.
Because it's been
somebody today thought this was a good idea, though.
It's been a dumpster fire, and it turns into what, a bigger dumpster fire? Like, what narrative
you just
do you
changed
think
the dumpster fire. Eugene didn't like LeBreton talk. Didn't like it. Because it means he doesn't have that much cash.
So you think it was
so change the narrative.
talk this was going to get them away from the LeBreton talk?
I have another theory. Can I throw this theory at you?
Let me finish your line for you, though, because I could see you struggling there, and you were.
Well, I wanted to say something, and I couldn't.
You were in full.
I knew what I wanted to say, just so we're clear. And we're live, coast to coast. We're live every day, by the way. And I couldn't say it on national TV.
So I'm going to help you. Don't get mad.
I'm not getting mad at you. I'm mad at the situation and Dagan.
Woosa.
Don't woosa me.
Woosa.
Don't talk Bulgarian to me right now, man. I'm not in the mood for this.
Breathe through your eyelids. All right, Nuke Lelouch?
Can I breathe through my eyebrows?
Yeah.
There's more
I got
space.
to put some garters on you?
Let me try it.
Come on here.
Suka. What did we say?
They have Woosa.
Woosa.
They have
it's not working. This is bogus.
Sid started, they have their head so far up their ass, he couldn't complete the sentence. Let me try. They have their head so far up their ass.
Oh, it tastes like a fart. This guy. Take it down. Put it down. Slow claps from Finning.
I was just trying to help you out. I know you got fired up there. I wanted to slow it down, bring you back.
I'm not done.
Bring it back. Okay, go ahead.
Hold on, sing first. Bring it back.
Do the Sens have consultants?
Consultants?
Yeah.
They barely have concessions people. They have consultants.
Like, who do they go to and go, okay, I know that the last 2 years have included Mike Hoffman, his fiance, trading away the greatest player the franchise has ever seen, just not being able to pay people, trading Engel. Like, you can go through the last 2 years and figure out what has transpired here, and they go to their consultants and go, I got an idea. I know LeBreton Flats has gone to crap, but let's fire Guy Boucher. How about that? And the consultants turn to, I'm guessing that guy, Eugene Melnick, not this guy, Mike Hoffman, and say, sorry, what? What do you want to do?
Wait
and
a second. They traded Carlson?
And he says, I want to fire Guy Boucher. And with all of this, Uber driver, all of the best players gone, let's fire Guy Boucher. I got the pièce de résistance right here. Let's fire Guy Boucher.
That is the pizza de resistance. By the way, the line also for Pierre Dorion.
What's the motivation here?
Here's the motivation.
What's the motivation?
I got it.
Because I don't think it's the change in narrative.
The only thing I can think of, two things. Pierre Dorion saying he let Mr. Melnick know of his decision this morning. Yeah. Sure. Eugene had nothing to do with it. Sure. I was born yesterday. Whatever, Pierre. I'll give you that one. How about this for an actual legit theory? Mm-hmm. What ties a bow on this can of manure is if the Avalanche get the first overall pick and win the draft lottery after the Duchesne trade last year, right? This is, you thought you felt bad or feel bad now. Wait for that to happen. 18.5% right now. The Sens sit dead last in the NHL. Those are the odds the Avalanche have in the draft lottery coming up during the playoffs. Tim, is it a plausible theory that Pierre Dorion and Melnick are so self-conscious about the Avalanche getting that first overall pick due to their incompetence, and they're 5 points back of the LA Kings for 30th, that they want a head coach to just reel in 30th? They want a head coach to pull in the LA Kings to go from 18.5% to 13.5%. Wow. That is the only somewhat legitimate theory I have on what the hell just happened here. On to something or on to something. Is it the craziest thing you've ever heard?
No. I think they're in the midst of a rebuild. I don't know if you've heard this, but they're in the midst of a rebuild.
Oh, Tim, there are people in Ottawa right now involved in this SNC Lavalin thing looking at the Sens and going, I don't want to be those guys.
Yes. Yeah.
When you're worse than that story in Ottawa, you got a problem.
Yeah, they are not the worst in Ottawa.
No.
Mark my words on this. Gary Bettman will be involved with this if he isn't already. You won't hear about it, but enough is enough. You're ruining the market, which hurts the franchise value. And Elliot Friedman told us that the franchise value or the best offer on this team was $400 million, and the NHL would have none of that. So you're already in dead last. You continue to devalue the market. You continue to lose fans, and you're already 27th in the league in attendance. Where is the market value of this team going, Sid Sixero? Where is this guy going to get his money out if it continues this way? He's not going to. And that's why, mark my words, Gary Bettman will get involved with this.
Gary's got to do it. Listen, we see it all the time. Whenever there's some natural disaster or something and things aren't going well, they send in, when things are going really bad, they send in that general. That guy who has name value, who knows how to fix things when things get really bad. Right. Well, we're at that point here with this organization.
But Gary Bettman's a bad boy, right? Like, you understand that this real bad boy moves in silence.
You nailed it in what you said. He's going to do it, and we're not going to hear about it.
Correct.
Something's going to happen here. It's going to be real, and we'll catch wind of it whenever Gary decides we deserve to know what's going on.
All right, so in the midst of a rebuild in Ottawa, apparently.